Long before tanks roamed battlefields or armored units stormed across Europe, there existed something even more remarkable: an army resembling a mobile city. Picture yourself on an ancient Roman road at dawn. Dust gently rises in the crisp morning air as thousands of feet create a rhythmic echo over the hills. Metal armor groans and leather straps pull tight. Somewhere far away a horn blows. You look forward, but the soldiers stretch beyond sight into the horizon. Glancing back, you see the column extending even further. Men, horses, mules, carts laden with weapons all move together like a living civilization on the march. Standing at the rear of this massive force might leave you unable to spot its beginning point. This is history unfolding right before your eyes. Imagine the Roman legion on a mission. It wasn't just any military unit. It was an incredibly efficient war machine. Picture yourself walking alongside them for a day, from the chill before sunrise to the eerie quiet of nightfall. You'd likely ponder a daunting question. Could you endure Rome's relentless march? Before delving into how they operated, let's consider their immense size. During its peak, Rome's campaign force often comprised 2 full legions, about 14,000 rigorously trained soldiers. But that was just part of it. Alongside marched countless auxiliary fighters recruited from various regions. From all parts of the empire, warriors gathered. Cavalrymen from Numidia in North Africa, archers with precise aim from Syria, infantry from Germanic tribes accustomed to forest battles, and expert slingers from Hispania capable of hitting targets at incredible ranges. These men were not citizens of Rome but fought under its banner for wages, honor, and the hope of becoming citizens someday. This already counts nearly 20,000 soldiers ready for battle. But an army requires more than just fighters. Accompanying them were thousands more who ensured everything ran smoothly. Cooks, slaves, servants, laborers, and those caring for animals. They took charge of preparing meals, fixing gear, setting up camps, and looking after the beasts that carried supplies. The animals with the Roman army resembled an army themselves. Historians say that when a Roman force marched, it included 4,500 to 5,000 mules, plus hundreds of horses and oxen. Each mule had the strength to haul over 100 kilograms of gear. This included wooden stakes, tools, food, construction materials, and even siege machines in pieces. So, the Roman army wasn't just soldiers. It was nearly 30,000 living creatures traveling together. Polybius, a Greek historian, once called their marching column a wall of flesh. And he wasn't kidding. As they moved forward, a Roman column could stretch anywhere from 8 to 12 kilometers long. Soldiers stretched out for kilometers on the road. The troops at the front might already be crossing a river while those at the rear took down tents from last night's camp. This vastness presented a daunting logistical challenge. How could such a large force move daily without descending into chaos? The solution lay in discipline. Romans started their day well before dawn, with marches kicking off while most still slept, between 3 and 4 in the morning during what they called the fourth watch of the night. The first noise to pierce the darkness wasn't shouting or clashing weapons. Instead, it was the soft sound of horses' hooves. These were the speculatores, top scouts acting as the legion's eyes and ears. They went ahead of the army, vanishing into woods and valleys to spot danger. Their job was clear: find threats before Rome faced discovery by enemies. Meanwhile, in the camp, a deep horn known as the cornu resonated through the night. Centurions walked among tents, rousing their troops without confusion or delay. Roman soldiers operated in groups of 8 called contubernia. Each team broke down their leather tent, packed gear, checked weapons, and ensured armor and sandals were secure. Then came their hardest task of the day: lifting each soldier's pack. Roman legionaries carried a load of 20 to 30 kilograms on their backs. Among their equipment were the scutum, a hefty shield, the gladius, which was a short sword, and pila, their throwing javelins. Besides these weapons, they packed dry food for 3 days, utensils for cooking, extra clothing, tools for digging, and wooden stakes essential for setting up the camp's protective wall every night. The Roman soldiers didn't just fight. They built structures and tackled engineering tasks as well, as they arranged their gear in readiness for the march ahead. Their commanders huddled together to plan the day's route. Meanwhile, inside the command tent of the Legatus Legionis, the legion's commander, reports from scouts and messengers awaited review. The commander, along with military tribunes and engineers, examined the landscape carefully to choose the most secure route. They steered clear of hazardous areas like marshes, rocky hills, or thick forests where ambushes were likely. The aim remained unchanged: keep the army progressing without exposing them to danger. As dawn broke, soldiers were already on the move. Leading them was the vanguard. These troops weren't just any fighters. They were elite auxiliary forces from some of the toughest cultures in the empire. The swift Numidian cavalry rode alongside Thracian horsemen and archers hailing from Crete and Syria. Their job wasn't easy. They faced danger first and checked abandoned places. Villages cleared traps hidden on the roads and took out pits with spikes. Sometimes they even fought quick battles with enemy scouts. The vanguard could be as far as 3 kilometers ahead of the main army. This distance provided a buffer, giving the legion time to respond to threats. Roman writers like Tacitus and Vegetius warned about the dangers of losing the vanguard during a march, which could lead to disaster. A collapse at the front might cause panic throughout the column. For this reason, Rome placed experienced veterans at the forefront. Men who had faced many wars and knew they were entering danger first. Following them was the core of the force. In the heart of Rome, thousands of legionaries marched in strict formations. Every legion was made up of 10 cohorts, each one divided into centuries with 80 soldiers. The column advanced at a slow pace, usually 2 or 3 men side by side, winding its way through valleys, forests, and mountain paths like an enormous steel serpent. Seasoned soldiers took their place near the front to keep the march in rhythm. Fresh recruits found themselves in the center, flanked by veterans who kept order. Those prone to causing trouble or showing unreliability were placed toward the back where they could be closely monitored. Roman soldiers even had a nickname: Marius Mules. This moniker came from reforms introduced by Marius himself. Roman commander Gaius Marius made his soldiers carry their gear instead of using wagons. This method was harsh, yet it worked well. The Roman troops became quicker, tougher, and able to operate far from their supply lines. Every day, the legion covered about 20 to 30 kilometers. This range was no accident. It was a careful balance. Going too far would leave soldiers exhausted and collapsing. Going too short would slow down the campaign. Rome wasn't in a hurry. It moved forward steadily. Behind the main forces came the army's weakest part: the baggage train, called impedimenta by the Romans. It included hundreds of carts and many animals that transported essential supplies needed for survival. During lengthy military campaigns, the legion's baggage train carried essentials like grain, salt, and vinegar. They also hauled spare clothing, tools for building, medical supplies, tents, and components of siege weapons. Flavius Josephus noted that safeguarding this train was nearly as crucial as winning battles themselves. Without it intact, the legion would struggle to eat, rest, or engage in combat effectively. At the very back of the formation marched the rear guard. Their role demanded constant alertness. They protected the supplies, gathered soldiers who fell behind, monitored the sides in risky areas, and prevented deserters from fleeing. Rome had already learned a harsh lesson about ignoring the rear of a marching column. Back in 9 AD, 3 Roman legions faced disaster due to such negligence. During the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest, Roman legions faced annihilation. The Roman commander, Publius Quinctilius Verus, led his troops through a dense forest when Germanic tribes launched a devastating ambush. The long column couldn't regroup quickly enough. This catastrophe stunned the Roman Empire and prompted Rome to reconsider its approach to marching in hostile lands. From then on, rear guards gained strength and vigilance. As night fell, the legion arrived at a pre-selected site by military surveyors. Then something extraordinary occurred. The army shifted roles to become builders. Each soldier took up tools and dug a trench 2 meters deep around the camp's perimeter. The soil from this excavation, Soldiers built a raised embankment of earth and planted the wooden stakes they had lugged along their march. They constructed 4 gates and posted guards without delay. Inside these makeshift walls, tents went up in a precise arrangement. Officers near the center, legionaries in orderly blocks, auxiliary units in specific zones, with animals penned separately. Even latrine spots had their own locations. In under 4 hours, an empty field transformed into a fortified Roman city. This routine gave Rome a significant military edge. While enemy tribes slept unprotected in forests or on hillsides, Roman soldiers found safety behind sturdy walls. Even after dark, the legion remained active. Soldiers prepared basic meals from wheat porridge called pulse and sipped posca, a sour vinegar water mix, to refresh themselves after grueling marches. Medics treated wounds with honey and vinegar as well.